Why you avoid difficult conversations, even when they matter. Some people do not avoid difficult conversations because they do not care. They avoid them because their body remembers what happened the last time they were honest. The shaking voice, the tight chest, the guilt, the fear, the overthinking afterward, the imagined rejection, the silence that followed, the feeling that speaking the truth might cost them love. And if that is you, you may have spent years calling yourself weak, passive, or bad at communication. But maybe you are not weak. Maybe your nervous system learned that honesty was dangerous. Maybe somewhere in your life, telling the truth did not lead to understanding. Maybe it led to anger. Maybe it led to blame. Maybe it led to punishment. Maybe it led to someone withdrawing love, changing their tone, becoming cold, or making you feel guilty for having feelings. So now, even when a conversation matters, your body wants to disappear. You know you need to say something. You know something is hurting you. You know a boundary needs to be spoken. You know silence is slowly building resentment inside you. But when the moment comes, your throat closes. You say, "It's okay," when it is not. You say, "Don't worry," when you are deeply affected. You say, "I'm fine," because explaining the truth feels too risky. You avoid the message. You delay the call. You rehearse the words 100 times in your head, then say nothing. And afterward, you judge yourself. Why can't I just say it? Why do I always stay quiet? Why do I keep protecting other people's comfort more than my own peace? This is one of the quietest forms of self-abandonment. Because every time you avoid a difficult conversation that truly matters, a part of you learns that your truth is less important than keeping the peace. And that can become painful over time. You start carrying unspoken feelings, unspoken hurt, unspoken needs, unspoken disappointment, unspoken boundaries, unspoken questions. And what you do not say does not disappear. It stays in the body. It becomes tension. It becomes distance. It becomes resentment. It becomes emotional exhaustion. It becomes replaying conversations that never happened. It becomes imagining what you should have said days, weeks, or even years later. This is why avoiding difficult conversations can feel safe in the moment, but heavy afterward. In the moment, silence protects you from conflict. But long-term, silence separates you from yourself. And many sensitive people know this pain deeply. They do not want to upset anyone. They do not want to sound dramatic. They do not want to be misunderstood. They do not want to create tension. They do not want someone to think they are difficult, needy, angry, or too much. So they become experts at emotional editing. They soften their words. They minimize their pain. They laugh things off. They explain less. They ask for less. They hide what hurt them. They convince themselves, maybe it's not a big deal. But deep down, it is a big deal. Not always because the situation is huge, but because every time you silence yourself, your nervous system feels the cost. It feels the cost of swallowing truth. It feels the cost of pretending. It feels the cost of choosing comfort outside while creating discomfort inside. And this pattern often begins early. Maybe you grew up in a home where conflict felt unsafe. Maybe people got angry quickly. Maybe your emotions were dismissed. Maybe saying how you felt turned into an argument. Maybe you were called disrespectful for being honest. Maybe you learned that love was safer when you were agreeable. So your body created a strategy. Stay quiet. Stay easy. Do not challenge. Do not upset. Do not ask for too much. Do not risk the connection. That strategy may have protected you once, but now it may be keeping you trapped in relationships where your truth never gets to breathe. Because real connection cannot grow where honesty is always being hidden. You can be loved for being pleasant. You can be liked for being easy. You can be praised for never complaining. But can you be truly known if you never say what hurts? Can you be deeply connected if you are always performing okay? Can love be real if it only survives when you stay silent? That is the question. If this is speaking to something real in you, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Beyond the Mind, and share it with someone who always keeps quiet just to avoid conflict. Because many people are not avoiding conversations because they are careless. They are avoiding them because their body is trying to protect them from emotional danger. And healing begins when you stop shaming yourself and start understanding the pattern. You ask, what am I afraid will happen if I tell the truth? Am I afraid they will leave? Am I afraid they will get angry? Am I afraid I will be blamed? Am I afraid I will sound too emotional? Am I afraid my needs will not matter? Those questions reveal the wound underneath the avoidance. Because the difficult conversation is often not just about the present moment. It is connected to old memories, old reactions, old rejection, old times when honesty did not feel safe. But the truth is, not every honest conversation will destroy connection. Some honest conversations reveal which connections are real. Safe people may not always agree with you. They may not always respond perfectly. But they will not make you feel guilty for having a voice. They will not punish you for needing clarity. They will not require you to disappear just to keep the relationship peaceful. And if a connection can only survive when you stay silent, then maybe it was not peace. Maybe it was control. Maybe it was fear. Maybe it was you carrying the emotional weight for two people. This does not mean you speak harshly. It does not mean you attack. It does not mean you turn every feeling into a confrontation. It means you learn to speak honestly without abandoning kindness. You can say, "This hurt me. I need to talk about something. I feel uncomfortable with this. I need more clarity. I care about this relationship, but I also need to be honest. I am not trying to fight. I am trying to be real." That is not drama. That is emotional maturity. And yes, your voice may shake at first. That does not mean you are wrong. It means your body is learning a new kind of safety. Your throat may tighten. Your chest may feel heavy. Your mind may imagine the worst. You may want to take everything back the second you say it. But healing does not always feel calm in the beginning. Sometimes healing feels like speaking with a trembling voice and not apologizing for having one. Every time you choose honest communication over silent suffering, you teach your body something new. My truth is not dangerous. My needs are not wrong. Conflict does not always mean abandonment. I can be honest and still be loved. I can speak and survive the discomfort. That is how the pattern changes. Not all at once. Not perfectly. But slowly. Conversation by conversation. Boundary by boundary. Truth by truth. So if you avoid difficult conversations, do not shame yourself. There may be a younger part of you that learned silence was safer than honesty. That part does not need criticism. It needs reassurance. It needs patience. It needs proof that your voice can exist without everything falling apart. And one day, when something hurts, you will not immediately disappear inside yourself. You will pause. You will breathe. You will choose your words. And you will speak. Not to control the other person. Not to force an outcome. Not to make anyone feel guilty, but to stop abandoning yourself. Because your peace is not real if it depends on never saying what matters. And your voice is not a burden just because someone once made honesty feel unsafe. You are allowed to speak. You are allowed to ask. You are allowed to disagree. You are allowed to have needs. You are allowed to be understood, not just tolerated. And if this made sense to you, don't lose it in your feed. Like the video, share it with someone on this path, and subscribe so you stay connected to every new talk on Beyond the Mind.